To a practice now that you might not realise is legal in this country but could soon be banned. ITV News has learned that the government is about to announce it wants to eradicate so-called gay cure therapy, which is mostly carried out by religious groups who say they can convert someone who is gay to being straight. Our political correspondent Paul Brand has unearthed the details and joins me now, along with Vicky Beeching, a Christian who says she tried to pray the gay away when she was a teenager. Vicky, thank you very much for joining us. Paul, if I can just start with you, what exactly have you learned about what the government is planning to do? OK, so the government, like many of us, thought this was very much a thing of the past until they investigated and, like us, found that it is very much here in the present. Last year, they carried out a huge survey of LGBT people, the biggest ever in the world, and I understand tomorrow that will show thousands of people are going through this conversion therapy or cure therapy, often in a religious setting. They're not exclusive to Christianity, and I understand tomorrow they will pledge to eradicate it all together. It's already been condemned by all the professional bodies in Britain. You certainly can't get it on the NHS, for example, though not clear yet how a ban would actually work. Vicky, take me back to what happened to you. When you were 14, what did you do?
Well, by the age of 14, I think this says a lot, church teachings had already made me feel so much shame about my gay orientation that I voluntarily went looking for help. And it started quite subtly and got worse. So the first port of call was a Catholic priest. I went for confession to confess the sin of being gay. And then 2 years later, I was so desperate that I actually underwent an exorcism in a large venue, 4,000 young people. I found the courage somehow to go to the front and have a prayer ministry session where people shouted that the demons of homosexuality would come out, because I'd been told that being gay was caused by demons.
This practice is legal at the moment in this country. You ended up in hospital.
Well, throughout my 20s, I then engaged in more subtle forms of conversion therapy, which Paul knows about also, where you are just sort of prayed for and they try and find traumas and damage from your past, maybe sexual abuse or problems with your parents. And I was taught throughout my 20s by churches that being gay was actually damage that had been done to me because I was born straight, and that being gay was not God's best for me and I could be healed. So I've kind of had the dramatic things, I've had the subtle things, and all of that conversion therapy in the end ended me up in hospital with stress, with an autoimmune disease, and it just broke me. It absolutely broke me. So I'm living proof of the damage that it can do.
Right now it's legal, and right now there are lots of people who didn't have Vicky's experience who say it works.
Yeah, I mean, it's openly offered, Nina. It's advertised on the internet. You can get it just as easily as dialing a phone number or sending an email. And I went to Northern Ireland to meet the director of the Core Issues Trust, which is one of these organisations that offers it. And he claims he sees about 20 people a week who want to become straight. He says it works, so there's no evidence that it does. This is what he had to say. You say that your therapy is well-trained, well-regulated and ethical, but it's none of those things, is it? Because you're not trained, you're not regulated, and actually most people would argue what you do is not ethical.
Well, and here I am, doing it with clients who appear to be benefiting from it. Why should I be banned because of an idea? This is viewpoint discrimination.
Vicky, what's your reaction to that, and also to the reaction of people who say if it's banned, this stops people religiously practising their own freedoms?
I think what we have to ask is one major question, and that is, why are people seeking these therapies in the first place? And for me and for many other people, the only reason that we're seeking change is because churches have told us that being gay is a sin. And I think you have to look at those core teachings and actually the impetus that are driving people voluntarily, like I did, to seek out these changes in the first place.
OK, we'll see what happens later on in the week. Vicky and Paul, thank you very much. Thank you.